This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Dun, 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 dun.
This is a sham.
No.
Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
Welcome to DBL. Hello, Albert.
Hey, how are you?
You looking good?
Thank you. You look great in green.
Thank you. Erica Cobb told me it was my power color.
I like it. A little hunter green.
Yeah. Very earth tony. We're going to get to Lindsay. Lindsay, how you doing, my love?
I'm doing well. What's going on, guys?
What's up?
Much.
You are glowing this morning.
Little
you look
mama
wonderful.
glow. I love that.
I don't have green on, but I'm getting it together. Black and white is okay too, I guess.
Are stripes your power color?
That's exactly right. Stripes work for you. All right, we wanted to get into this topic and really be personal and relatable to you guys. So feel free to write in on YouTube or our app as well. How do you feel your life is going 1 year into Joe Biden's presidency? So last night he gave a press conference talking about things like the pandemic, the economy, and his legislative agenda. Here's some of what he had to say. Take a look.
I didn't overpromise. You'd have to acknowledge we made enormous progress. One thing I haven't been able to do so far is get my Republican friends to get in the game of making things better in this country. I don't think there's anything unrealistic about what we're asking. I'm not asking for castles in the sky. I'm asking for practical things the American people have been asking for a long time.
So, on this 1 year anniversary, we really want to know what you think, DBL Nation. How's he doing? And is your life better or worse now under this president? Do you approve or do you disapprove? So go ahead to dblvote.com. This is an interactive show. You can go ahead and vote, and the voting will be up as we discuss this. Al, would love to get your take if you could give him a grade and maybe where you feel personally things have worked or not worked for you.
I mean, personally, I would give him a B, maybe B minus, and he gets that grade just because, you know what, Tori, Lindsay, because I don't think about politics every single day. Every time I look at my phone, it's not something the president has said or done, and it's given me my life back. It's given me something else to talk to you guys about. Since Biden's been in office, testing has been more readily available, but definitely not up to where I thought it would be, not even close. Masks are more available, but definitely not where I thought it would be. But I've hugged my mama a couple times now. I don't feel nervous or like I'm putting my kids in jeopardy by going to see them. So I would say overall it's been a B. Lindsay, what do you think?
I mean, I'm going to get real specific and give him like a 63%, a C, because that's the number of people of the country that have been vaccinated, the percentage wise. And I think that, it's hard to say. In the beginning, we say the honeymoon phase is over after the year with most presidents. But with Biden, he didn't walk into any specific phase where everybody was loving him, because we were in the middle of one of the most chaotic times in our country's history. But I do think that the tests are really slow to roll out. As you guys see, we just got a chance to order them this week, and hopefully we'll get them at-home tests at our homes this week. And 4, I told you guys I don't think that that's enough per household. And then he did proclaim last year that by July 4th, we would all be outside again and be with our families. And that's almost as bad as George W. Bush's mission accomplished banner about the Iraq war prematurely. And so to me, that's going to stay on his legacy throughout this time. I do also think with jobs, people are so confident that they're quitting their jobs and going after their passions. And that's something that I love as we see more entrepreneurs. But we also have a huge deficit in the labor force now. As you see, restaurants like McDonald's are trying to bribe people to come into the office again, because he did make it so easy to just sit and kind of stay on unemployment and do whatever you want in between that time. And so I don't know that he's doing the greatest job, but I do, like you said, Al, if you say you're hugging your mom and seeing your family, I did see my family on Christmas, and I think there's something to be said about that. But I just think it's very slow compared to other countries that have figured out this vaccination and this pandemic way better than us.
I appreciate both of what you said, and I'm right there. I don't know. I don't have a 63% weird thing like Lindsay, which was fantastic. But I would say B minus. I'm right with Al here. I'm glad he got infrastructure. I feel safer about the roads that's going to go through. That was a bipartisan bill. But here's how I feel. I really want to feel soothed and inspired and consoled, and that yes, there's COVID, and yes, it's awful, but we as a country are going to get through that. We are going to be inspired, someone who holds us up and gets us stronger. I don't feel that. And there have been presidents that have done that for both parties, even though one is one or the other. So in my mind, I'd really prefer the sacred right to vote to be protected, which to me was a big fail. And I really wish I could feel inspired and protected by the consoler in chief, and I don't. And that's a big loss right there. As I was speaking, one of the president's big goals was passing that voting rights. But last night, the Senate rejected 2 bills aimed at keeping more polling locations and drop boxes open. They were designed to combat new laws, making it harder to vote in places like Florida, Georgia, Texas, and Arizona. So Vice President Kamala Harris was on GMA talking about it. Let's see what she had to say.
We as America cannot afford to allow this blatant erosion of our democracy, and in particular, the right of all Americans who are eligible to vote to have access to the ballot unfettered.
So what do you think about making national laws that would make it easier to vote? And are there good reasons to make it harder for people to vote? I'm going to go to you, Lindsay, on this one. This was a huge disappointment for me. And from D.C., if they made D.C. a state, we'd have 2 more votes. And by the way, we pay taxes and we don't have any representation. So I wish we could get through with that. Go ahead, Linz.
I think ensuring people the right to vote is just part of civil rights, and we can't go back and forth about that. I don't think people understand some of the things that have been put in place over the years, ever since Jim Crow laws were in effect, to try to block black people specifically from the opportunity to vote fairly, from counting how many jelly beans were in the jar, which is almost impossible, and people weren't allowed to vote because they got the number wrong. And now we have our own version of that in 2022, and so it's just unfortunate that some people, like, if you need an example, I used to do political reporting. There's some people in different states that have to, the closest polling location, they have to take 2 buses and then walk a mile. So what if your grandmother's in a wheelchair and she wants to vote? Well, she can't get to that polling station without a ride, right? And they're not offering free Uber rides, or Uber didn't exist at this time for some people, or it's not an option who don't have a cell phone. So, there's just different things that we're ostracizing people. And as young people on this panel, it doesn't affect us directly so much that sometimes we can't see how it's affecting people in these more rural cities and places. But, I think it's important to understand that there's a whole heap of people out there that are not having the opportunity to fairly get to vote, where it should be within a mile or 2 of your house that you can get to easily and safely, not walking through the rain or any conditions in November, and just vote fairly without being penalized for whatever your financial circumstance is.
I agree, and I would say make it a national holiday so people don't lose work wages. Al, what is your take real quick?
I don't know if making it a national holiday is very realistic, in that we can't even make it a day where everybody can go vote. Here's where we are right now, Lindsay. We have a party that knows that consistently they are going to be in the minority in terms of just raw numbers. And they are going to do whatever they need to do, which is gerrymander or make it harder to vote. And they're doing what their party has to do. But overall, what we're going to have is a country that is ruled by a minority, by a smaller group of people making decisions for the whole. And what's going to happen is that it's going to create a general source of discord. And you're going to be able to feel it across the country. There are going to be laws that people do not agree with that are passed. There are going to be laws that people like passed that will not be passed. And this will continue to build the angst and the anger and the resentment that's in this country. And until we give everybody a chance to vote, a realistic chance to vote, how do we expect anything else but for people to be at each other's necks?
Right.
Everybody,
to a civil war almost.
Right.
At that level.
No one feels like they're being heard, and to a point they're not. There is a huge minority that is controlling the population, and it's been like this for a while in the Senate.
Yeah, interesting. And then there's the filibuster, which is a whole other topic. Let's go to the.
We do want to keep some viewers. So
let's go to the filibuster. That was my journal growing up. The whimsical filibusters. I'm so embarrassed. Okay, disapprove Joe Biden, 57%. Approve, 43% of you. So kind of where we were, B-minus 63.
And I think that's where the country always is.
Yeah.
It's 43, 57, 55, 45, and everything's on the margin. So, when you eliminate some voters, it makes a big swing.
True. Coming up on DBL, a 22-year-old woman stuck in an 8-year-old body. She shares her story with us in a new reality show that she is coming out. We talk with Shauna Rae about how she navigates life with a rare medical condition. Plus, a scary moment on live TV when a reporter gets hit by a car. She's totally okay, and the show even went on. It's because her name is Tori. We'll show you how she kept going. Coming up.
Closed captioning provided by
Let me.
We were talking about that.
I heard, which I thought was really interesting. I was listening to a podcast, and they were saying during Trump's 4-year term, he was never above 50% approval rating for the entire country, not Republicans, of course.
Right.
But for the entire country, and what they were saying was that meant for 4 years, like at least half of the population was unhappy with the direction of the country.
100%.
And I do think that the collective does matter. Like when you go to, you've traveled a lot, I've traveled a lot, and like when you go to countries, there's a warmth, there's a happiness, there's a pride.
Right?
Like when you go to Scotland, they're like, my grandfather built that, and this is our, you know, and I don't know if we're gonna feel that allegiance until everybody feels heard.
Well, I was trying to get to that when I meant like inspired, right? And there's certain presidents that do that, and I'm not trying to be in the weeds or a nerd about this, but think about this, even in your lifetime. FDR, he was a president for 4 terms because he brought the country, even if you weren't a Democrat, he was bringing you something. He was giving you inspiration. The speeches were helpful. The programs were helpful. You could see things moving. People got back to work. Kennedy, Reagan, for a lot of people, feel like that in the 80s really brought people together. Lincoln, I mean, I'm saying the greatest, but that's what we sort of need right now, right? We need someone who can say, don't worry about COVID, milk and meat and inflation and about this. I can help you and the country get it back together. I feel none of that. I feel
What if they
zero
say
of
that,
that.
and then they're like, and it's good. This is the bill that's going to help you do all that, and then you propose it and it doesn't get through the Senate.
Which is obviously an enormously frustrating thing. But for Joe Biden, who has been in the Senate for decades, to have come out last night and say, I didn't anticipate the Senate to go against me on everything. How did you not anticipate it? They did it with Obama and you were his VP for 8 years. Like, you should have been prepared that they weren't going to go for you. How'd you not know that? Welcome back. There's this thing with live TV where you really never know when something's going to go wrong. So check out what happened to one reporter in West Virginia who was on the scene of a water main break. And a warning to our viewers, this video is a little bit graphic. Take a look.
Unfortunately, in freeze thaw, we see this water main breaks.
I just got hit by a car, but I'm okay. I just got hit by a car, but I'm okay, Tim.
That's the first for you on TV, Tori.
Woo! We're all good. I'm okay. Yeah, you know, that's live TV for you. It's all good. I actually got hit by a car in college, too, just like that.
Wow.
I am so glad I'm okay.
Okay, first of all, I also got hit by a car in college in a very similar way, which we will get to. But what she did, which was so amazing, is she lifted the mic and the camera back up. She was everything. She was doing absolutely everything. They call it in the business a predator. You're a producer, you edit, you report, and she kind of handled herself beautifully, Al. What do you think?
I mean, I think she did, but I know Lynn's used to do this. So, like, talk to me. Like, what do you think about the idea of just sending reporters to the field? Because I think sometimes certain neighborhoods, dangerous, certain situations like this, dangerous, weather, dangerous. So talk to us.
No, there were so many times as a one-man band that I was terrified, specifically when there was a string of murders on Long Island and I had to go to the beach where they found these bodies alone as a one-man band or one-woman band. And then also when we had to go like investigate and get a soundbite from someone, we would walk up to their door and I remember one guy was like, unless you want the story to be news reporter missing, get off my porch. And I was alone. And so I was just like, you know, there's things like that happen. I never got hit by a car, but like you just keep going, especially when you're live. Like you don't really know what to do, especially because you learn in school, just like the shots live, just get the statement out and they'll cut to the package.
Can I ask?
I feel sorry that she got.
I just want to ask a question as like a viewer, because I'm sure do you think if you had never come to DBL and you had stayed with that, let's say you had done that for 10 more years, do you think eventually there would have been a really negative incident? Because it seems like you were skating the line a couple times.
Yeah, well, I think it's a good learning tool because I know all about the industry and editing and all the behind the scenes. I think it's important to have like a team out there, especially for young women to feel protected when we saw other stories about news reporters not getting hit by a car, but other negative things like being harassed.
Yes.
So I think, yeah, for sure, it's important to have someone else out there with them.
Someone wrote
And now she has a media company in which she edits and has beautiful footage, and I'm sure some of that is what you learned in the field. So
Exactly. So it works both ways.
One woman band. Boom, band. Coming up on DBL, a new reality show features the life of a 22-year-old woman living in an 8-year-old body. Shauna Rae, who was amazing, tells us all about how she's not letting a rare medical condition slow her down. Wait till you hear her speak.
suffer from.
We all know we have to report our income and deductions for tax time. But what about people who earn money illegally? A viral tweet from a venture capital firm with more than 26,000 likes reminds criminals to claim ill-gotten gains as income. So let's verify. Does the IRS require people to report income from illegal activities? Our sources are the Internal Revenue Service and U.S. Supreme Court records. While the tweet is drawing a lot of laugh emojis, tax officials have been cracking down on criminals for 100 years. In 1921, Congress changed the tax laws to require people to pay taxes on all income, regardless of how it was obtained. A few years later, the federal government won a tax evasion case against a South Carolina bootlegger, which set the stage for the prosecution of mobster Al Capone in 1931. The government has also gone after a spy and his wife for tax evasion after they failed to declare $2 million in payments from the Soviet Union. Today, the IRS not only warns criminals to fill out their taxes, but also tells them how to do it if they've accepted a bribe, accepted a kickback, or made money from illegal activity, like selling drugs. People who steal property must also report the item's fair market value as income unless they return it to the rightful owner in the same tax year. So it's true. The IRS does require people to report income from illegal activities. In fact, it's more common than you think in recent years. The IRS has a website dedicated to the medical marijuana industry, which is illegal at the federal level, even though many states have legalized marijuana sales. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Welcome back to DBL. So, imagine being diagnosed with a rare form of brain cancer at 6 months old. Treatment would allow you remission, but with a cost. You would stop growing. Our next guest is the star of the new TLC show about her life as a 22-year-old woman standing at 3 feet 10 inches. Check out Shauna Rae. Please welcome Shauna Rae and her mama Patty. How are you guys?
Good, how are you?
We're doing very well. If you can, Shauna, for us, go back to when your doctor first told you you were fully grown. Can you paint us a picture of what that felt like to you, not from the doctor's point of view, but from you, inside?
So that happened when I was 16 years old. So I had to take that time to get to know who I was as a person.
Yeah.
And what my strengths are, what my weaknesses are, and just kind of take that into the future versus just knowing I'm gonna hide behind being average height because I can't hide behind that anymore. I'm going to obviously be different, and I had to be comfortable with that.
Wow, that is strength. Patty, what was your reaction?
I was concerned about Shauna being smaller than a normal person. You know, it was like, how do we come up with the answers for some of these challenges?
Yeah.
Understandably, there's so many questions in the moment, but in that moment, did you, Shauna, think that this news would affect your mental health and the rest of your life the way that it has?
I knew the news was going to affect my mental health, and it did. I took a lot of time by myself. I did things that I needed to do to keep my mental health healthy because it is something that can completely change the way you look at yourself. And I didn't want to look in the mirror and not think that I was good enough. I wanted to always be powerful enough no matter what I looked like, that I know deep down I am okay. I'm good enough. I'm a normal human being. I just have a very obvious scar from my cancer.
It's got to be an awkward thing when strangers pry about your appearance, Shauna. So how do you respond to them?
We can't have children at the bar.
I want to get a tattoo.
How old are you?
There is an age requirement.
I'm 22. The way I react to someone is the way they react to me. If they don't understand the situation, I do try to educate them. If they're just kind of asking questions because they're just trying to be nosy in a better sense, then it becomes, okay, well, let me tell you what's really going on, and if you can't understand that, then I'm just gonna keep joking off my height, joking off this question that you have until you get the point that it's kind of crossing a line.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I do try to educate people first.
So Shauna, in episode 1, you said your romantic life sucks and that you attract creeps. So what bothers you most when it comes to people who romantically pursue you?
I have to get to know someone. I have to develop that trust. And those first glances, they come off as you just perceiving me as who I am physically. And that's where the issue lies, because you may be attracted to my personality, but it's going to look like you're just attracted to my physicality. And that's kind of where that danger or that caution takes place.
But you know, Shauna, it's so real, and there's so many dynamics that are playing into that, including the fact that you're now on television, so people are getting to know you in a whole different way. Do you think that's going to change the dynamics of people who might be interested in being romantically involved with you? Like, will that change your perception of that?
I think being on television now is obviously going to change the perspective that people view me from romantically. I think it adds a layer of safety. It can also add a layer of, okay, I have to be cautious now because maybe it's just because of the television series.
Right.
And that's what I'm hoping doesn't happen. I'm hoping to attract positive people who are self-aware and aware of situations that go on in their life and have respect and are just not judgmental. That's what I really hope people take away from this, and that's really what I hope to attract in people.
Ooh, thank you so much for being here, Shauna and Patty, DBL Nation. You can catch TLC's I Am Shauna Rae. She blew us all away today, available now on Discovery Plus. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
As of January 15th, all private health insurers are now required to reimburse Americans for the at-home test that they buy. So a lot of Americans may be testing themselves for the first time. And Verify is here to make sure that you have all the vetted information when you need it. So let's verify. What are some of the most common reasons for a false negative or a false positive, and how can you avoid them? We went to these 3 experts, Dr. Amish Adalja, Dr. Gigi Granval, and Dr. William Maurice. So, what could cause a false negative? Our experts listed 3 things that could go wrong. The test was taken too early, and you're not infectious yet, but maybe soon. The test was taken too late, meaning you might have had it yesterday, but you're no longer infectious, or the test was taken incorrectly.
When you think about the false negative, it's really making sure you follow the package insert directions and get a good specimen.
False negatives are a problem for public health because if somebody thinks they're negative and they're actually not, and they might go on to infect other people because they're not, people they're laying their guard down.
Okay, what about false positives?
False positives are rare.
They may have, for example, an expired test kit. They may have done the test kit wrong. And in those situations, you may want to repeat it. That's why those test kits come with 2.
False positives are more of a problem just logistically in life.
So what can you do to make sure that you get a good sample and therefore an accurate test?
When it comes to rapid antigen tests, I always recommend people watch a video if they haven't done it before.
And that's our top tip for getting it right. Companies like Abbott, which makes the Binax Now at-home test, have their own instructional videos. And if you follow the instructions to a T, you'll get your results in about 15 minutes. That was a lot of information, so we put it all on our website, and we can send it to you right to your phone. Just text the word Verify to this number, 202-895-5599. With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozlov.
And millions of Americans ordered their at-home COVID test yesterday when the government's site went live one day early. But there may be something else to pay attention to when you get those tests. We got a great question sent in to us by Denise Halfacre from Woodland.
Is it true that the COVID home tests have an expiration date? Should we be concerned about this?
So let's verify. Is there an expiration date on at-home COVID tests? Our sources, the CDC, the FDA, and the SF Chronicle, with interviews from medical experts. Bottom line is yes, we can verify at-home rapid antigen COVID tests have expiration dates, but the shelf life varies from brand to brand. Pharmacists warn about expiration dates and say using old tests could mean inaccurate results. It is recommended to get a PCR test for the best results. Denise bought this test kit 2 weeks ago at a CVS in Natomas. She immediately noticed the expiration date on the back, March 2022. She told me we cannot hoard these kits for the in case you're exposed days if they can expire so quickly. It's important to note that the FDA has extended the shelf life of Abbott's Binax Now COVID test to a 15-month window. Also, the CareStart COVID test was increased to 16 months of a shelf life. So the question is, can you use an expired test? Experts say not to use the test past the expiration date printed on the box unless you know for certain it's been given an extension. So we have a link to the FDA's database of approved at-home tests to help you out. Just head on over to the links section at abc10.com.
Welcome back. We're almost through the first month of 2022, my birth month, as we all remember.
Birth month.
Yeah, we got some killer deals for you from our friends at Morning Save. You're welcome. Check it out. All right, what do you have for us today, Steph?
I've got some wonderful products and even better deals for you guys today, and you do not want to miss them. So first up, we've got the Him Vision UV Free Light Therapy Lamp. This deal includes one light and one charger. So normally this is as much as $50, but we've got it for only $20, Tori. So it saves everyone at home 60%. Now, Tori, we've got the Diamond Muse 1 carat XO Link bracelet. So this deal includes one diamond bracelet available in white rose or yellow gold, plated over sterling silver.
Wow.
Normally, this is $929.
I was worried. Okay.
This is the deal of the century, Tori. It's only $129. Now, Tori, we've got everyone's favorite Cuisinart 5-piece knife set. And the best bit, it's got matching sheaths and a cutting board. So normally this set is as much as $78.
That's not even bad for that.
We've got it for only $29, which means everyone at home is saving 63%. And last but certainly not least, we've got Westinghouse Dry and Style Hot Air Blower Brush. So it means you can simplify your routine by drying and styling at the same time. Normally, it's as much as $60, but we've got it for $29, saving our viewers 52%.
It's like a secret club where we all win. Head on over to morningsave.com, right, to snag these amazing deals at the lowest prices. You can even visit morningsave.com just right on your smartphone. Thank you so much, Steph. Well, the tweets, Lindsay, are popping in as you send it to us, and someone, a spy in the ointment, said, really, you guys, where's your understanding of politics and what this president is up against in regards to Republicans vowing to prevent him from gaining anything? In my opinion, he should have known that, President Biden, going in from 8 years with Obama, that's what the Senate is exactly going to do because they did it with Obama. So that's how I feel. DBL's new every day. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Bye, guys.